Okay, guys, you ready? Get in, say what you have to say, and then get out. If they found out we were here during off hours, they would kill me. Come on, get started. Let's go.
Hey, Jordan. Sorry I'm gonna miss the kiddish. All the food. I love the nosh. This isn't hollow. This is Doritos, but they're delicious. Anyway, congratulations, L'chaim. For today, you are a man. And unlike your father, you'll be able to take it like a man when the Chiefs come back to Denver and kick the Broncos' asses up against the front range of the Rockies. Ah! Hey, Jordan, on behalf of the Patriots, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher keneshenu b'tzivata v'tzivanu.
Time's up, pal. Let's go. Come on, hurry up.
L'chaim, I'm done. Done.
Hey, Todd, where do I put the quarters in? I mean, you promised me feet videos in here. What the hell is this?
I don't think all of these are gonna work. Hey, Pope Francis, how are you? Thanks so much for getting back to me. Is there any way you can swing the Pope-mobile over to Milford? That'd be great, thanks.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. They are the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. We know the Danettes. They're all calm, simple men that are married and with children and lead these sedate lives out there in the bucolic East Coast. But Fritzy, if you could produce a show based on one of the Danettes' life in their prime, who would it be?
Ooh, a show based on one of the Danettes in their prime. Part of me was thinking Seton because just what was going on in West Virginia, I can only imagine with the couches being burned and all that and some of the partying going on. But I would lean towards Paulie because we always joke with him that he seemed to have lived like 50 different lives. He's held like every job known to man. He's lived in all these different parts of the country and Arizona and Bouncer and Chicago and all over the place. So I don't know what it would be called, but I think it would be interesting to look back on Paulie and all the different parts of the country he's lived in.
There's only one correct answer to that question, Todd. It's Pearl.
It's Pearl.
And we don't want to know Andrew Perloff. We want to know Pearl, who moved to New York City at the age of 20 and change.
22, yeah.
Crushing. He was
Philadelphia.
basically like the sixth member of the Strokes, just dominating the Lower East Side of New York City. That's exactly who we want.
Can't go wrong.
Scene's right. It's Pearl. I ran into one of his old running buddies back in the day. And I said,
And not running.
And I said, I work with, he goes, oh, you work at the Dan Pet Show? He goes, you know Pearl? I'm like, Perloff? He goes, Pearl. And this is before I knew about Pearl, and then I learned about Pearl. Oh. And yeah, I would like to. I'd like to shoot some late Dartmouth, early New York years. That'd be.
You know what's funny about the Pearl thing? Like literally, you know how everyone calls me McLovin now? No one knew my real name, Pearl. And my brother, who's David, nobody knew his real name. They called him Pearl too. So we had common friends who would yell out Pearl, and me and my brother would both turn. So Pearl, by the way, is not necessarily exciting. It's just short for Perloff.
And it really is.
But you guys have turned it into this nefarious character, which I love.
Absolutely. Pearl.
I think you turned Pearl into it.
I was Pearl in 8th grade when I was like.
You know what we're talking about.
Come on now. Don't play
Pearl.
It's like Johnny Football is a different person than John Manziel.
Yeah.
There's a young man who transitioned from Hanover, New Hampshire, or whatever, to the Lower East Side of Manhattan. He put the man in Manhattan. Pearl.
The man in Manhattan.
That does not sound masculine. Putting a man in Manhattan.
That's what part.
Well, when the truth becomes legend, you print the legend. McLovin, this sounds like a demanding role. What actor would be able to fill these shoes?
Wow.
Cumberbatch?
Well, Benedict Cumberbatch, I mean, I like to think Clive Owen. People have said that it's uncanny how much I resemble the guy who played Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think his name is Alan Ruck.
You know where I go, if I could go back in time a little bit and unage this person, I gotta go Eric Roberts.
Oh,
Eric
wow.
Roberts with
like Pope of Greenwich Village?
Wow.
That's who I would want to be Pearl. I would want
Eric Roberts as Pearl.
He was quite the stud back then.
He was. Why would you be up for that? Eric Roberts?
I never considered him before.
Handsome man.
He's available.
No, Eric Roberts would be great.
He can play me now, too.
Yeah, he lived an out-of-control lifestyle.
Pearl.
Oh, another guy who lived an out-of-control lifestyle was Michael Irvin. Of course, Dan was chatting with him today and asked him what he would call a show based on his shenanigans back in his playing days.
We ain't calling it nothing. We ain't doing no show on me. We ain't doing that. Listen, you know how long it took to get me back in good standings with people where I am now? We're not putting the show out on me. We're not doing it.
Would people believe it?
Hey, hey, man, listen. I'm a blessed man. No one ever gives up their whole, real, true testimony. You got a whole stuff bag. The world couldn't hold all the true testimony. So no, you'll never get that.
Oh my God.
Left you speechless there.
You gotta love Irvin, and I can only imagine what was going on through that hotel room door. That's what I was thinking the whole time when Dion walked in, and Dion.
Oh, I'm sure you were thinking that.
I could only imagine, what was going on with women and artificial substances.
I wish we still had that video from that, because it doesn't do it justice. We had Michael Irvin in the studio every week back then, back in '04. Michael was real honest back then with us, with Dan. And we were reviewing Playmakers, and we had Deion Sanders on to review Playmakers, and he started telling the story. And if you could have had the visual, we weren't on TV back then. Michael Irvin is just curled up in a ball, laughing and pounding the table, because he's listening to Deion tell about this outlandish hotel room party. And at the end of the whole thing, I'm going to imitate from my memory what Deion said. He goes, I looked at him and said, Mike, I don't live like this. I got to go. And that's what he said. And he's at the top of his lungs. That's how he's talking. And that's how big the story was. The whole room is laughing. The whole area of ESPN is just going crazy.
And if someone like Dion is blushing and uncomfortable, and Dion just seems like a guy that can knows how to have a good time. I can only imagine.
At least image-wise.
Yeah, with the
he looked like a fun guy.
Time thing. But that's crazy for Dion to say that. That's saying something.
But for Michael Irvin to touch on that topic, but say like, "Hey, I've moved past that. I've got a 20-year media career here."
You know how long it took me to rebuild this?
Yeah. Fair enough to Mike.
Goodness. Oh, hey, Seton, how long do you think you would last with Irvin out on a night on the town in your prime?
Oh dear. Well, in my prime and in his prime, I think I could probably go toe to toe. I think I'd be all right.
You'd be all right.
Yeah, I think I could hold my own.
That surprises me. I'm actually, because the stories I've heard about Irvin are legendary, and they involve weapons and like very serious things.
Well,
no.
Well,
okay,
technically,
I went more deep
lots
hotel
of
room party
traditional partying
with different things. Yeah, okay. If I don't know anything about weapons necessarily. So I couldn't do that. But in terms of partying, I'm there in my prime. I could put him down for sure. For sure.
I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you at all.
Right here.
All right, coming up, some of the fans get in on Sports Jeopardy fun. We will recap that. If I was going to give those fans a prize, it would be the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. It can climb a hill, haul a trailer, and tow a boat. And it is the Auto Daily Double. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. What is Guts Glory Ram?
Categories are football, could be pro or college. Okay. Basketball, again, could be pro or college. Baseball and hockey.
Okay. So you have to answer all three in that category.
We're back here on the box score. You guys brought Sports Jeopardy into the Man Cave today and even gave the good folks of Dan Nation a chance to be a Danette for the day. Paulie, what was the one question that you thought would be impossible to answer?
There was one about baseball where something that's outlawed for the pitchers is licorice. Now, it was hard for a couple reasons. I'd never heard this before, and I'm not 100% sure it is illegal to chew licorice on the mound. So between those two things, and when Seton was giving me the quiz earlier, I was like, I have no idea. No idea.
I've never heard of that.
It was funny that part of, and we're going to have to work on this for next week, but their dad's like, all right, we're going to give you a clue here and help you out for watching on TV. You're going to get the categories early. And they couldn't have been more generic.
Sports.
Yeah, sports it could have been. Sports, science, literature, and math. Like, oh my God.
I was sure I had the answer. I thought it was Big League Chew because it was too much like tobacco and encourages kids to chew tobacco. I was like, it's got to be Big League Chew, which makes more sense, but it was licorice.
Well, all toughies. The licorice one was especially tough for Dave in Georgia. When it came down to him trying to respond in the form of a question, I think he was looking for a little help.
listen.
David in Georgia with a chance to be entered in the hopper to be a Danette for a day. Third and final clue. This is the only candy specified in Major League rules regarding items pitchers are forbidden to use.
Could you repeat the question, Dan?
All right. This is the only candy specified in Major League rules regarding items pitchers are forbidden to use. Oh, sorry, David. What is licorice?
Yeah, that's tough. It was tough for David, and he was just sort of disappeared at the end of it. Like he might have hung up at some point too, because he wouldn't even give like a man that stinks. I was trying to get it. Maybe he was busted trying to type.
There was a couple of questionable sounds.
I heard a click at the end, and I think my boy has dial up, and he was waiting for the answer to come through and just said nothing.
Well, the one dude clearly had somebody there with him that he was talking to. I heard that too, where he was like, I don't know what it is. I think it's
He used a lifeline.
Yeah, he did one of those kind of things.
I'm okay.
That's all right. I don't
Okay with
mind.
that. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
better
mind.
than a computer.
Yeah, trying to Google something.
Well, which is what I mean, but a lot of people try and do on these things.
Yeah.
But I like the quick clock.
Yeah.
It adds to the drama.
Quick clock. That's a tough phrase to say.
Quick clock.
Yeah.
Clock quick.
Yeah, alliteration. Fritz, you reached out to the MLB. What was the final word on licorice?
According to Major League Baseball, they said there was nothing illegal about using licorice. Then I sent a follow-up note because this guy in Major League Baseball is a good friend of the show, and I know even though it sounds a little silly, and I'm sure he's got far more pressing issues of the day to deal with, that he would get back to us to make sure we understood exactly what was going on, what we were asking of him. Can you chew licorice during the game? Can you have it on you? Any variation of what I was asking about licorice, and he's aware of no such laws.
What if he does
or
have anything better to do? He's playing one of those things where the balls are ding, ding. He's just going like this at his desk for hours. All of a sudden he says, ding, and then an email from you is like, finally something to do.
That would be
That's
cool.
probably
if
the
he's
highlight
excited
of his
to get
day.
it.
I agree with Paul.
Peak of his day.
I can
Yeah.
only hope that he gets excited from one of our show.
You do.
calls.
Of course. McLovin, if one of these contestants get through all these gauntlets, what will you be putting these people through in the back row as a hazing ritual?
Oh, you mean for the Danette of the day?
Yes.
Breakfast getting?
We have a guy who does that.
Well, okay, now see, here's the interesting part of this, okay, is because we're calling them the Danette for the day, like Danette of the day or whatever. So that means they would have like sort of Danette responsibilities, whereas what we're sort of talking about is sort of more of like a BRG type thing.
Backroom guy.
Kind of, he's in between, yeah.
Right, so it's like, all right, are we gonna like
Well,
sit with twos and do some stuff, or is he gonna sit right next to like in between me and you, Paul?
By the way,
And here's Bill in Tampa. Hey, buddy, what's up?
I'll tell you though, you know me, I don't have a lot of patience for these stuff. Like, I hope it's a nice person who wins. You know, we're gonna show him around the studio and get a picture with Dan and all that kind of stuff. But once the show starts,
What if he gets like me and starts asking a bunch of long-winded, inane questions? And
that won't happen very long. I guarantee. There's nothing
So
the
what's the
contest.
button do? I want to know
I
the
looked
show.
at the language of the contest, and there's nothing that says we have to be nice to him. He just has to be a Danette for a day. And being a Danette for a day means I'm probably not going to be nice to you, which is part of the
So
contest.
you just said something in Dan's ear?
Yeah.
That they can't hear that on the air. You just said that only
Putting
Dan
the
can
hammer
hear.
down.
What is that?
So this
what did you
microphone,
press
you're telling
there?
me
What
this
did
is
Stephen
the
just press on? It was
Yeah. I'm sorry. Your chair is outside, sir. Okay, muy bien. Cuando regresamos, vamos a jugar un pequeño trivia de Sábado Gigante. Es muy bueno. Welcome back to the box score, guys. It was with heavy heart that I must tell you that Sabado Gigante has ended its run after 53 years on the television. It's had comedy, music, live giveaways, fan trips, the whole 9 yards, even human interest stories. Now, Paulie, if I was to task you with producing a 3-hour variety show, what Danette are you going to take with you?
A 3-hour variety show. Which Danette am I going to take with me?
Variety show?
Wow.
Well, what do they have to do for the variety?
Yeah, like
show?
what? Like,
In what
like
capacity?
bad sketches. And
If it's a singing and dancing thing,
you know, I gotta tell you, I don't think I'd take any of them because I don't think anyone would want to work on a 3-hour variety show. I think they'd stay right here where they are. And I might not go myself.
Yes, you are correcto. All right, well, we here in the box score couldn't bid farewell to a show like Sabado Gigante without our producers coming up and cooking up a little quiz. Something we like to call, let me get this straight, Miércoles Pequeño,
Sabado.
usted no sabe nada. Okay, it is row versus row, and since I'm assuming you guys don't know much about Spanish television, it is going to be multiple guess. Our first question is for the front row. Sábado Gigante was hosted by the legendary Don Francisco, but can you tell us Don's real name? Was it A, Don Sanchez Romero, B, Cesar Manuel Romero Jackson, or C, Mario Luis Kreutzberger Blumenfeld?
It's got to be C. It's got to be. Oh, no, maybe A.
Maybe A. We were going to go with Donald Francisco, but that wasn't on there. So we're going to go with A.
Is it Don Sanchez Romero?
Perhaps you're not en fuego anymore. Perhaps you're not en fuego anymore.
Wow.
Perhaps
Oh, I'm sorry, Lo Siento.
Anymore.
He was born Mario Luis
Is it a German
Kreutzberger
show?
Blumenfeld. Yeah, his parents were German
way.
Jewish immigrants
What?
who
That looked like
fled
the definitely
Nazi
fake one.
persecution. Es verdad.
Good for him. Congrats.
All right, next question is for the back row. Sábado Gigante first hit the airwaves on August 8th, 1962. In what country did the show make its debut in? Was it A, Chile, B, Mexico, or C, Venezuela?
This is as niche of a segment as we've ever had.
Yes, I agree, O.
Chile?
Take it. You can take a guess.
We're gonna go A, Chile.
El Rise in Fire. El Rise en Fuego. El Rise in Fire. El Rise en Fuego.
Yes, muy correcto. Sábado Gigante debuted in Don Francisco's native country of Chile.
I wish you could see your face.
All right.
I hope that the answer for this one is El Gordo y Flaco, or whatever that is. Isn't that another
Or
one?
Mujer,
Prince used to
Mujer.
watch this show, so he has an unfair
I really
advantage.
did. I have watched it.
All right, back to the front row. In what year did Sábado Gigante make its debut in the United States? Was it 1986, B, 1976, or C, 1980?
I'm gonna go 86.
That late, huh?
Yeah, I think it's not. I think I'm gonna go 86.
I'll go with that.
Yes. Was it 1986?
El Rise in Fire. El Rise en Fuego. El Rise in Fire. El Rise en Fuego.
Muy bueno. On April 12th, 1986, the show moved production to Miami, Florida, and the U.S. Spanish-speaking network of Univision. All right, one more for the back row. During the show, contestants are given the chance to sing their favorite song. What is the name of the character who eliminates the contestants who sing poorly? Is he El Chacal, El Verdugo, or El Terminador?
So, McLovin, just because you don't say anything during the segment doesn't mean you're not technically in the segment. They're not going to shop you out or anything.
Is this segment like a prank on us? Is somebody messing with us right now?
Why is this
That's
any
possible.
different than IKEA or Swedish hockey player?
These are just sports tie-in.
Padre or Padre?
Wanna go
There's a
Terminator?
TV tie-in to this. Who cares?
Vaguely.
How do you feel about El Terminador?
Seems too. By the way, that seems too obvious.
It's too up, so which one you want to go? Hold on a second.
We're gonna go B. Go B.
We're gonna go B. I don't remember what B was.
El Verdugo.
Is it B, El Verdugo?
Perhaps you're not en fuego anymore.
Oh,
Perhaps
maybe it is El.
you're not en
Terminador.
fuego
Yeah,
anymore.
Lo Siento.
Perhaps you're not en fuego
Oh, it's El
anymore.
Chacal.
Es El Chacal de
El
Trompeta
Chacal.
would blow his
Que
trumpet to signal a
lastima,
contestant's
El
elimination.
Chacal.
Que lastima.
All right.
¿Qué es más macho?
La fila ganadora hoy es todo, because it is un tallo. So congratulations to everyone. Don't go away. Dan caught Fritzy doing something with the cameraman. I have no idea. All right, this is the box score, and we are taking un breako to remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. Es muy bueno, es muy fuerte. Guts, glory, Ram.
Todd, we're doing a show over here.
You're working on another show?
What are you doing?
I was being interviewed about my fan duel.
It's called View from the.
But we're doing a show now.
I know. I apologize for that.
Well, the thing is, to be fair, the interview started 9 minutes ago, and it was supposed to be a 30-second interview.
The whole piece is
That's
very
true.
long.
He was supposed to give a 20-second.
He asked one question.
We are closing up shop here on the box score. The boss caught Fritzy in a private moment with a cameraman there. Fritzy, what in God's name were you shooting, and did Dan pull you to the other side of the glass to give you a talking to afterwards?
No talking to, but he definitely addressed it there in the moment. I felt the need at that moment for some reason during the show to talk about my FanDuel team and how excited I was about Week 4 and trying to go at least finishing in second place for 4 weeks in a row, or possibly winning it all this week, and that was obviously an
the problem
opportune time.
really was that we have people who give us cues of like, hey, like 30 seconds back, 20 seconds, 10 seconds back, 5. And they were obviously trying to give you the hint of like, hey, we're coming back here, so you might want to wrap that up, and just blew right through the stop sign on those. That was maybe where things went a little awry with that. Maybe we just cinched that up.
That's all right. There's no reason to button that up because after all, we do
I'll
have
tell you
the
this.
video. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see it.
All right, we have the video as we bring you a box score exclusive.
A lot more successful. I think I would have came in first place in week 3 if my running backs would have stepped up a little bit. I'm gonna have to take that into strong consideration in week 4. How to
do we
boost
come
up
up
the
with
running
what we're
backs.
doing?
And
Todd,
that's
we're
what
doing
I'm
a
gonna
show over here.
Yeah, this is wrong on multiple levels. Shooting a show during another show is creative and aggressive, but awkward sometimes for the show that's going on. So yeah, we try to jumble a lot of things. We're not the most professional place in the world, but sometimes you just can't do too many things at once. Not a big deal. It was addressed, and we'll move on from it. But it's just you got to be careful. You got to be room awareness is probably the most important thing and toughest thing for anyone in this business to learn. When Dan Patrick is doing a bit with McLovin, and you just decide to walk in and interrupt it or talk over it or something like that, and he's doing something, you have no awareness. If you're shooting something and don't realize we're coming back from break and we got to cut this, you have to be aware of the room. And we all have levels of room awareness, but I think Dan made his point today, and the people in the back room, in the front room, every room, will learn that, hey, just pay attention at all times from 9 to noon Eastern.
Yeah, room awareness, that's a lesson we can take all the way to Saturday. Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
Chris Fowler will join us in the New York City Mancave of ESPN fame. Mike O'Malley will join us, the actor. We'll also be joined by Josh Altman of $1 Million Listing Los Angeles. All 3 of those fine gentlemen will be with us in the Soho studios in New York City.
Josh Altman. Ooh, he makes me so mad. All right, we are back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Oh, it's the FanDuel Draft Day, so you don't want to miss that one. The podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!